Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson. We want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what that condition is, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never alone. My guest today, Selena Thiele, is, by the way, she's awesome. You're going to love her. She's fantastic. She began her entrepreneurial journey after a traumatic brain injury, forced her to rethink how she managed her corporate workload. Corporate workload can be a thing, right? So TBI is never friendly for that. So facing challenges in the corporate world, she created a space where both she and her clients can thrive and grow, which is awesome. With over 15 years of experience in administrative and bookkeeping, she is now the co-owner of Office Mercenary Services, which is a virtual assistant and business management agency that she founded with her partner Alyssa in 2019. And we have personally worked with them, and they're phenomenal. So we're going to have their QR code up there. So in the midst of her story, if you're hearing something, you're like, hey, I need a VA. By the way, any business owner out there that takes their business seriously needs a VA. I'm just going to throw that out there. So if you don't have one, you're probably working in your business and not on your business. And so you probably should get a VA. But anyway, that was for free, Selena. You're welcome. Let's bring her on the show and see where we go today. Holy smokes. Good morning, Selena. How's it going?
I'm going good. How are you?
Did you like that little plug already?
I did. It was like perfect. A plus.
So by the way, you and Alyssa, between you and Alyssa, like I don't know how we would have functioned over the time that we were working with you guys without it, because you guys are phenomenal. So if you seriously, if you guys
couple major back end overhauls, nothing.
I mean, no big deal. Sure, no problem. Yeah, just enough to make anybody's head explode. But you guys came in and saved our bacon, so it was awesome. But anyway, so here we go. We are talking about well, first of all, TBIs. I mean, traumatic brain injuries are no joke. I mean, I'm no stranger to them. You're no stranger to them. It's a thing. And then MS thrown on top of it, cherry on top, right? Obviously
MS, ADHD, anything like
right?
Mild traumatic brain injury, like mild and traumatic. These things don't really go together.
I know,
they don't make any sense.
Like jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Military intelligence. We aren't going to go there.
Small government. Yeah, yes. Right. Yeah.
Things like that. And of course, the second, like you rattle your brain around like a maraca, that right. Really helps everything else going on in your
obviously
life.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody, when you're having trouble, when you're going right along and cruising along in life, there's nothing better than just,
it's fine.
So, and MS on top of it. Is that, when the heck did that happen? So multiple sclerosis is what we're talking about, everybody. If anybody's been living in a cave for the last 50 years, MS stands for multiple sclerosis. And that is a no joke. That is a serious thing that can really throw your life for a loop. So which one did when were you diagnosed with MS?
So the MS actually came after the TBI. It actually came after the second TBI. It was found because of the second TBI.
Okay. So I can't wait to hear the story.
So the first car accident is the one where I was just like, I've got to get out of the corporate. I can't handle this anymore. That one was particularly rough. That was a TBI. That's permanent neck damage, TMJ. So the jaw had to get realigned. It was
just out of curiosity. So with that TBI, so with the last one I had, which was my last brain surgery in October of 2021, that's kind of a TBI when they go poking around in there. I know, right? A little. So for me, I had a couple effects, but I'm curious, what were the after effects from that? Like what happened?
So like a couple big things with that one. Like number one, I was in quite a bit of pain all the time between the head and the jaw and the neck and all that kind of stuff. That is actually, I had ADHD probably forever, but that's when I started actually noticing the stuff, because the coping mechanisms, of course, went completely out the
Bye-bye.
window.
Yeah.
Just toodles, thank you for playing. Bye.
Yeah. See you later.
And before I did a lot of, they would call it multitasking, but we all know actually doing multiple things at once doesn't really happen. It's more of I was able to switch between multiple different things very, very quickly without having that kind of brain loading, processing to catch up to where the next thing is. And that slowed down drastically. And so that became a thing with the job that I was at that time, because well, what do you mean you can't like do this and this and this? And if I interrupt you in the middle of 4 phone calls that this doesn't work anymore, I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course,
I'm not even sure how to explain it to you, so we're just gonna move past that.
So I'm just gonna say thank you for your time. I have enjoyed my time here, but I need to run away screaming now. Thank you.
I'm out.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And then the second TBI, with another car accident. Overall, that accident was less bad. But still a TBI, still some like new neck injuries that are always super great. Sure. And of course, you know, as you know, with like multiple brain surgeries and all that kind of stuff, your brain really loves it when you poke it over and over and over again. Like, just rattle it again.
It's a blast. Yeah. Fantastic.
It likes that so much more. No, it doesn't.
No, not really.
It's like, so that time I ended up doing some occupational therapy, because there was like my math slowed down, which, to be fair, with bookkeeping, it's more data entry than true math. But at the same time, I was noticing a major difference. And it actually reset a bunch of my allergies.
Oh, so brought them back or got rid of them?
Got some new ones.
Oh,
got some new ones, made some old ones worse. It was super fun.
Okay.
I was like, oh, surprise.
You know, I'm telling you, when you go poking around and messing with the brain, all kinds of crazy stuff can happen. I'm telling you, it is a very fickle animal, that organ, you know.
It is very fickle. There's a reason why it is generally protected with like at least a little bit of skull. We hope you haven't, like, you know,
fluid in the skull and the you want to keep that
protection
intact.
And we as humans were not designed to have ourselves rattle around inside this container that much.
No, exactly. So just throwing this out there to the audience, by the way, if anybody that's watching right now, just if anyone else has had car accidents that's resulted in TBIs, or any kind of any question that you have that you hear Selena bring something up and you're like, ooh, yeah, or anything with the MS, anything that we talk about, you've got her here for about another 40 something minutes. She's the one you want to ask. So you know what? That reminds me. I'm going to pop this on the screen so that if you do have a question, that is her contact page. And so Office Mercenary is your company, but that is your link tree, which got all your stuff. So if you want to reach out to Selena and ask her questions, and also if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere where you can comment, just say, you know, just, you don't have to get specific if you don't want to, you don't spill your guts on social media, but you can just say, you know, let me, you know, yes, please, or contact me or something. And, you know, we can go that route too. So
I'm sending you a DM, pretty please answer.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So there's all kinds of ways in the 21st century. There's all kinds of ways to contact people. That's just one of them. So there's all the ways you can get in touch with Selena. And so, yeah, let's keep on rolling here. So you said you had to, you had to leave that corporate job screaming, ran out screaming, which I don't believe you actually did. That would have been really interesting. That would have been quite the exit.
I thought about it. I thought I did not actually leave screaming. It was very pleasant.
That probably would have
friends with people there.
Well, That probably would have hurt you more than it would have hurt them. Honestly, with the TBI, you probably would have come away with a pretty good headache doing that.
At the time, yeah. No, it's.
I mean,
Yeah,
let's, you know,
gone so
so
poorly.
how did the invisible, like, that's a very invisible thing though. Like they probably were like, what are you talking about? You look fine. You look perfectly normal. Why are you leaving? What's the matter with you? So how do you deal with that?
And so much of this was when I was working, and
Yeah.
so they're like, yeah, I have doctor's appointments. I have to follow up with this. I have to follow up with this because I'm still
Why?
having issues. They're
Yeah.
like, are you though? Like, you look
Right.
fine. Like, are you sure this isn't the doctors just like trying to like milk you in your insurance? I'm like, yeah.
Are you sure this isn't hypochondria? Sure. Are you sure? Yeah.
I'm positive. I still need to go talk to that neurologist, and I still need to go talk to. Yeah.
It's a thing. I promise. I'm not making this up. Yeah.
It's like, I may be crazy, but not in that way.
I mean, it's a separate issue. No, I had a guy last when I came back to work at the gig that I had at the time that I left about a year ago because some of the side effects from that surgery in 2021. But I came back to work after that a few weeks later, and he saw me in the hallway and he was all excited. He's like, oh, all right, Jeff, you're back. So you're good now, right? You're good. You're all set. I'm like,
you're completely fixed, right?
I mean, I'm alive. So it's the brain surgery for me isn't to fix me. It's to keep me going. It's to, if we hadn't had the brain surgery, it would have been bye Jeff. So it wasn't like I'm good now. It was, I'm here. I'm still here. So, but a lot of people don't get that, especially with a recurring thing like that, like another TBI, another surgery,
another TBI, or even like neck and TBIs and all that kind of stuff. You may get better. It just may take a year or 3, and you probably aren't going to be exactly where you were before, but you can get 75 or 80% of the way. Maybe
it's like your new normal, right? Yeah. It's like, that's where it becomes like your new normal, and people just have to kind of adapt to that again.
And they have to adapt. You have to adapt. And some of that is you learning how to talk to them about it and be like, no, I really need this accommodation.
Yes.
And initially, if you're not used to having to advocate for yourself like that, is very difficult. Like that is something everyone with any medical condition, invisible or not, has to learn how to advocate for themselves. And so one of the things with corporate, like especially while my neck was still bothering me, I had 2 screens, but a very, very short desk. So they were they were much closer to me than they should have been.
Yeah.
And so I had them angled like pretty tightly, so I didn't have to move my neck that much.
Yes.
And one of them, like overnight, would reset my monitors every night. And so when I come in every day, I have to like reset the monitors, reset the monitors. Just you're sitting there like, is this really affecting your life that you have to change what I need to work for me?
Yeah.
Because it just, it actually doesn't work for you. It hurts your soul. Like, stop it.
Leave my monitors like this. Yeah.
Leave my monitors where they need to be so I can see stuff and not be in pain. God, stop it.
If you want me to continue to be productive, don't touch my stuff. Basically.
It's like no touchy.
That's right. No touchy.
I know technically you own this, but no touchy.
If you want me to continue being productive for you using it, don't touch it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. In the nicest possible way. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I totally get that. It's, because people don't understand. People don't get it when it's, especially because it's invisible. That's the thing. That's the nail in the coffin, right?
You look so normal.
Yeah.
Why can't you do this normally?
You look fine.
You look fine.
Yeah.
Everything's good, right? Normal is an entirely different question also, because
that's a varying degree kind of thing. But so speaking of that kind of thing, what kind of misconceptions and misunderstandings and all that, like what did you run into before you actually cut loose of that gig and or now? I mean, maybe you still run into it now with your business, Is there stuff you run into?
With my business currently, we have structured it in such a way that I run into that significantly less than I
Good.
used to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Initially, when I was still working in corporate and when I first went to work for myself and I was a solo VA without my partner, without all this kind of stuff. And it was a wee new little baby business owner who, again, was learning how to advocate for myself in this way also of,
Yeah.
I need to be able to eat and pay my bills too. Therefore, this is how much I cost. All of those type of things. But
Yeah.
a lot of it was this moment of kind of what you were saying. It's like, well, you look fine. You mostly act fine. You just, I don't understand why you aren't the same because you look the same. Like,
Yeah.
aren't you over it yet?
Gosh. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Aren't you done
no,
yet?
I'm not. I'm not over it. No, that didn't fix me. It's like what you're saying. It's like that. Fix is not the right term here.
Yeah.
And so, and TBIs vary wildly. Like
they vary a lot. Yeah.
It's like super mild where processing slows down a little bit, especially while it's recovering. And, sometimes people go 100% back and it's not a big deal. They maybe slow down for a year and then they're fine.
Right.
I've certainly known people with TBI where that like it was a TBI and they had to relearn how to walk because
right. Yeah.
And how to talk because the brain injury was that bad.
Or in that spot. The brain has different things in different places, right? So yeah, everybody's different. That's the thing.
Everybody's different. Everybody recovers differently.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who had a work accident and his TBI meant he lost math.
Yeah.
Math was gone. He had no math.
Wow.
There was no getting the math back. In fact, my parents borrowed some of, at that point I was a teenager. And so they borrowed some of my like middle school math programs and lent it to him to help him relearn math.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's a thing. Yeah.
It's a thing. And like a lot of people, when you say, oh, I have MS, there's a certain expectation. MS is another one that can kind of vary wildly in what it looks like and all that kind of stuff.
Day to day even. Yeah.
They've probably seen an episode of House or something where they're like, oh, wait, is that thing? It's like, kind of. House is not a good representative of this. Also, do not read WebMD. And
oh, no, don't do that. You'll be dead in a week if you believe all the symptoms that WebMD give you. Yeah.
It's like, don't do any of those. House is not a good basis. But yes, congrats. You've heard of it and you have a base level of knowledge. You hear something like traumatic brain injury and you're like, oh, traumatic. So like, why are you still walking?
Why are you still here then? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, did you have to relearn how to eat? No.
Wasn't that part of the brain?
It wasn't that part of the brain. That's not the part that got rattled. That's not the part that got bruised.
Yeah.
And that part is something that people are just kind of like,
I know. It's so hard to understand. If you've not had one, you just don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but you just don't get it. I'm sorry.
It is drastically harder to understand.
It's so much harder to understand if you've not had it.
If you have migraines, you might get a little piece of that.
You might have a glimpse. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, my vision hurts really bad because my head hurts. Yeah, you can get that in TBI.
It's a thing. Yep.
Sometimes sound hurt. Yeah, you can get that in TBI, or it could be completely different things.
Right. Exactly. Well, hey, I kind of want to, just to that point, I want to talk about that for a little bit more, but we're going to go to a break real quick. We're going to go to a break, and we will be right back in just a couple of minutes. But I definitely want to talk about that because there was some effects that, to the point that you're talking about, like everybody's different, right? So, with every brain surgery, I had different things. With every TBI, you had different things that went wrong. So we'll talk about that a little more on the other side of the break. But I want to get into how you didn't let it stop you. And now you're kicking butt and taking names with your company that I just took the QR code down for. Don't worry, it'll be back. Don't worry. So yeah, stick around, everybody. Take a breath. Stick around. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Does your to-do list have you feeling stressed? Does your list include tasks like responding to email and phone calls, collecting forms and paperwork, and sending quotes and invoices? Have you been neglecting posting updates to your social media accounts, email newsletters, or content on your website? Maybe you need help to get digitally organized. I'm Selena, one of the owners at Office Mercenary, and we're a US-based virtual assistant agency. We can take care of all of these tasks and more so you can get back to focusing on the things you love about your business. Our team is happy to work with you and your individual needs. So schedule a call with us, bring your to-do list, and stop doing the tedious tasks.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
All right, everybody, before we bring Selena back, I want to talk to you about Invisible Condition University, ICU for short. ICU is something that I wish had been around about 10 years ago. I've had 4 brain surgeries and 2 other surgeries related to the condition that caused the brain surgeries. So 6 total in the last 11 years. And every time I would go in for surgery, my wife, Catherine, and my family would be mostly left on their own because the hospitals are great when you're in there, but not so great when you leave. They kind of forget your name. So we decided to create ICU, Invisible Condition University. We wanted to provide a place where other people like us, maybe like you, would have a community. You'd find community that listens, that cares, that walks with you no matter what you're going through, no matter where you are in the process. We meet on Zoom twice a month for about an hour to provide a safe space for patients and their caregivers. Please bring everybody. Everybody's invited to the party to ask questions, vent frustrations, find information that maybe you're not getting from your surgeon, from your doctor. I don't know, just a hunch. If you'd like to learn more or like to receive a free 30-day membership, go to myfreegiftfromjeff.com or scan that QR code right there, and it'll walk you right through it, and it'll answer there's a whole bunch of information on there. It'll answer your questions. Jump on there and join us for a couple of meetings. We'd love to see you there. Our next one, as you can see behind me, is on Tuesday, November 19th. At 3 p.m. Mountain Time. I'd love to see you there. So thank you very much for listening. And here we go. Let's bring Selena back. All right. Here we go. Hit the ground running here. Ready. That's right. We're ready. So I was going to say, before we left for the break, I was thinking, man, I wonder, so you had some effects that hit you with the TBI. Like for me, I really only had a couple of surgeries that left me with some crazy side effects. And there was one in 2014 that I had to have 2 brain surgeries within 24 hours and in the hospital for 3 weeks and all the things. Ended up with migraines that turned into constant migraines that 24/7 that lasted for about a year. before we found a way to get rid of them. And we did. And if you want information about that, I'm happy to share, but I'm not going to do it now. Anybody struggling with migraines, please comment and I'll let you know, because it was phenomenal. And it got rid of them in about a month once we found the right place. But and then in this last surgery that I just had in 2021, one of the effects was large motor tics that just rocked the right side of my body, and which I've been able to get rid of as well through something, but also my filter in my brain, not that filter. I know which one you're thinking.
I was like,
I know which one you're thinking about. No, not the one, that
the show is PG, Jeff.
Not that filter. The filter that, like if you're in a crowded restaurant, you're in a crowded airport, you're in a crowded church lobby or supermarket or whatever, and there's say 100 people, but you're talking to this person right here, your filter blocks all that out automatically and makes it white noise so that you don't hear that, you just hear this. That filter was gone. I had no filter. And so when I went to church or went to the supermarket or whatever, it was like everybody was plugged into an amplifier at the same volume and everything was coming at me at once. And so every brain surgery is different. Every traumatic brain injury is different. And so just throwing that out there for those of you who might not be familiar.
It's like,
it is a thing.
And after the second one, I had a milder version of that. Just like I didn't have problems with crowds or heights or anything like that. After the second TBI, I started having problems with heights, with like vertigo and crowds, where all of a sudden just having all of these people around was suddenly very anxiety inducing. It's just like,
it's closing in on me. Yeah.
It got better, but there's still like, it's not the way it was when I was 22. Most things are not the way it was.
I was going to
22.
say,
like, that's been a hot minute, but
it's been a minute. Yeah. I get it. Well, all right. So let's keep going here, because we were talking about, I was going to say we should talk. You kind of alluded to it a little bit ago with your virtual assistant agency, and you said you were the only one. You started off and it was just you, and you were working yourself into the ground probably and driving yourself crazy every day. And then you said, hey, Alyssa, hey, Natalie, hey, all these other people, and you're like, come join me. Let's make this a thing that we can help so many more people. So where did that come from, and how'd you grow that? Because it's awesome.
It's funny because Alyssa's actually the one who came to me.
Nice.
I fell into one of the classic blunders. It's like where you're working super hard, and then you focus on it and you get stuff done. And then you forget to eat, and you forget to go to sleep,
or
drink
water.
Then you have problems sleeping because you're thinking about that one thing. And did you remember to do that? And so suddenly it's like 4 a.m. and I might as well get up. And then you get sick because your body is not like, again, without issues, your body is not designed to do that.
Even
if you have anything else going on, your body's like, no, I hate you.
And cut. Yeah.
And so Alyssa and I knew each other for a while before that, and then she was like, I've got an idea. And so she and I started putting this together in September of 2019. We started out with the two of us and 2 VAs, just brand new. Initially had this concept of, we're going to be hybrid. We can be in person if you happen to be in the Denver metro area, or we can be virtual, whatever, it'll be fine. It'll be easy.
For those of us who have been, for anybody that's been living under a rock for the last 20 years, VA, we're talking about virtual assistants, everybody. I know everybody, I just want to.
Virtual assistants, not Veterans Administration.
Yes, maybe that's for another show, but today we're talking about virtual assistants. And so, which, as I said at the beginning of the show, somebody much wiser and much further along in their journey and much more successful in business than I have been so far told me that if you are in business for yourself and do not have a virtual assistant, you are working too much in your business and not enough on your business, and you're going to be struggling. So So yes, that's what we're talking about is virtual assistants, everybody. So,
Um, and the thing with virtual assistants is it's fairly accessible. If you get one that you like, that you trust, there are people I know that have handed over like 85% of their lives to their virtual assistant,
right?
like personally and professionally.
Yeah. Yep.
It happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, there is a more structured thing around, yes, that we do this and this other thing happens over here. It depends on the virtual assistant, much like TBIs. No one of them is necessarily the same.
It's true. Well, and everybody has different specialties, right? Like you deal with this side of things and Alyssa deals with this side of you never know. You never know. It's cool that way.
I handle most of the finance stuff because I find, a certain amount of joy, and it processes easy for me. One of Alyssa's great joys is overhauling systems and processes. If you have any sort of management system, so learning management system, content management system, client relationship management system, project management system, she's like, let me fix.
She's giddy as a schoolgirl, man. Just get me in there. Yeah. More power to you. That's not me. So.
It's like, I find joy in it too, not as much as her. So I give her first crack at that. But that's kind of the point, is finding what your strengths are and what you're good at, and finding someone to help complement that.
Yep. It's just like any wise business owner. I mean, everybody knows who Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and Robert Kiyosaki, all of those people, all of those business people realized that they couldn't do it all. They had a certain niche that they knew what they were doing and they wanted to accomplish this. And then they surrounded themselves with everybody else that they needed to make it work. And that's where this comes in.
They surrounded themselves with the other people and then let them actually do it.
Right. And then let it go so that they can actually do it. Yeah.
That second step is really important.
That's an important step. I had trouble doing that myself.
It's a transition for most people. If
it is.
Like their first virtual
assistant. Because it's your baby.
It's your baby. Like this is the thing that you've been pouring your heart and your soul and a lot of time into for however long. And the idea of just kind of passing off your baby to someone else is like, it's like, if you have a good relationship with a doctor, you're like, this is my doctor. I really like, I like this doctor. And then that doctor is like, oh, by the way, I'm retiring. I'm going to pass you off to this younger person. You're like, but what? You're
not allowed to do that.
What if not? Okay. Like,
so it's scary. It can be scary. I mean, when you're a business owner, it's your thing, and you have built it the way you wanted to build it for this long. And now you want to share what?
It's like, sometimes it's not even want to share. It's you need to share.
You have to share. Yeah.
You are not giving an option. You were in kindergarten and you have to share. Like,
well,
option is over.
Because working in your business is no longer effective.
Yeah. There's two ways to grow a business.
Yeah.
One, you start charging more for doing the same thing.
Yep.
So that you constantly make your margins in order to live your life in the way that you would like. Two, you grow a team.
Yep.
Those are the two options. You can't stagnate and say, I'm just going to sit here and do the same thing and charge the same price for forever. Like, the reality of our existence says that doesn't work.
One person I'm working with now, one of his things is what got you here won't get you there. It's, to bring your business to $100,000 revenue level will not get the same information and expertise won't get you to $1 million, which won't get you to 10 million. You've got to apply different wisdom,
different wisdom, different
processes,
different strategies,
everything.
Different processes. You have to have a really strong process and a good backup system so that when you do start handing stuff off to other people, they can do what they want and you can still check in, because trust but verify. This is still your baby, and you're allowed to, check in and make sure the wheels haven't fallen off the bus when you weren't paying attention. But there has to be a certain amount of structure behind that, and there's ways to adjust that so that it works better for people. There's a standard-ish structure, and there's a reason why it has worked for Bezos and like most of the big names in business. They have a structure, and the structure looks pretty similar. There's going to be little differences and all that kind of stuff, but if it's a box shape, they're all kind of box shaped.
Well, and the cool thing is, because you have experience with TBI and MS and the invisible conditions that you're living with, I mean, you have a different perspective too. So if there's people out there that are dealing with, maybe there's some autism going on, or Asperger's, or TBI, or something going on that is not, this, you can relate, right? It's like, I get it. We can work with that. And you have a special expertise in that because of living with something like that. Right. So it's cool.
It's like, we've worked with a lot of people with ADHD, ADHD, autism, TBI, other medical conditions where it's a physical thing, and MS and stuff like that, where it's just like, no, you have to be aware of your energy levels, and you have to be careful of those energy levels. It's the spoon thing that gets used a lot.
You only have so many spoons.
And you're starting out with less spoons. So how do you pass off some of those things so that you get to keep more of those spoons?
So you have energy to do the things you want to do outside of this crazy business thing.
Much as you love your business, there's probably other things that you also like.
Right?
I don't know.
I mean, come on.
Friends, family, it's like, who needs kids?
Sleep, whatever.
What's that? Hold on.
In your spare time. So just out of curiosity, so what is now that you've been in business for 5 years now? That's 5 years.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So well done. You're rocking it. I mean, so what's the best part? Like, what's the best part now that you're kind of in a spot where you're like, okay, we kind of know what we're doing,
kind of, sort of, like we feel pretty good about what we're doing. We feel like we've got the structure. We've got the right team. We know the best ways to build our team in a way that works for how we work. Things like that. And so, like, the thing that I still really, really love about the business is honestly still getting to meet and help people. Have it when they have that moment of, oh, I can hand this off and I can do this other thing. I can have more than my business, more than XYZ. I may have the brain cells left over at the end of the day so that I can put money and time and thought into putting together a 501c3. We've known a bunch of people who have been like, I've really wanted to open up this nonprofit and I can't because I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the spoons. And so once you can shift some of that, it's like, oh,
hey,
like that moment of light up. That's the thing where I'm like, gimme! Oh yes, I wants it. Wants it, precious. It's
Lord.
Happiness, precious. Yes.
We're getting way. We're going. Okay. We're going way.
The rails are gone.
The rails are gone. They're gone. They're in the distance now. Yeah. No. You know what though? It's nice. It's nice to meet a fellow movie junkie that just throws down with movie quotes every time that I tell people all the time. Us and our family, especially me and my wife, we're like me. I can only speak for me. I'm trilingual. My three languages are movie quotes, sarcasm, and a close third is English. And they kind of swap around every once in a while. But yeah, so it's a thing. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh man. Well, here, I tell you what, man, I'm telling you, this time flies when you're having fun. We are going to go to one more break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some other stuff. We're going to talk about more about Office Mercenary, and we're going to talk about hope. We're going to talk about hope because that is a huge thing around here. And so when we're talking about invisible conditions, that's a big deal. So stick around. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
In a world where office workers typically receive 130 daily emails and have an 8-second attention span, CoreCentrica, with her 4 decades of international marketing experience, has partnered with the Learning Code Institute and their 30 years of neuroscientific research. Together, we are crafting unique messaging strategies that resonate, connect, and ultimately convert our target audiences. CoreCentrica, where award-winning creativity and disruptive neuroscience come together. Scan this code now, or call and click, and let us show you how CoreCentrica's partnership with the Learning Code Institute is influencing how businesses connect with their audience, foster engagement, and achieve conversions.
Hi, I'm Amy Joy, and I'm the host of Get Your Together Live with Amy Joy. And you can catch me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific on the amazing Trajectory channel right here on E360 TV.
All right. I'm sorry. I had to play that promo. We were talking about it earlier. So
It's such a good promo.
I love that promo. I still want to watch her show just to see how many times she uses that bleeper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
get your bleep together. It's like
I gotta check it out. Okay. So we've talked about a lot of stuff here, and I know that sometimes there are, obviously some days are better than others, right? When there's a traumatic brain injury, it almost never heals 100%, right? There's always a little bit there that's like, hey, remember me?
Hey, this is different than
this is different. And as you go throughout your days, it might not be different until it is, and then, so in those times, in those crazy times, on those days that it's like, oh, freaking kidding me, how do you still maintain hope?
The days where it's I am feeling it hard. A lot of maintaining the hope involves a couple different things. One, I've taken a lot of practice at helping others, and therefore setting it within my own head that sometimes you need to take a step back. Just step back, look, be like, okay, here's the stuff that has gone right. Here's the stuff that is happening, and these are good things. I feel like poo today, but things are moving the right direction. And that's moving forward is moving forward. It doesn't matter if you're running, if you're walking, if you're crawling, as long as you're still moving forward, it's going to get better. The other thing is I occasionally give myself permission to have a day where I'm like, you know what? Yep. Today I don't feel great. I'm feeling this. Okay. There's 2 things I absolutely have to get done. and then I'm giving myself the rest of the day off.
Nice.
Because
this
is now structured in such a way where I can do that occasionally. But being able to take that moment and just say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go out and I am going to do something that sparks joy.
Nice. You have to.
An extra walk for the dogs. We're going to go up to the mountains and we're going to go see the leaves change.
Nice.
You know, go hang out with a friend. It's whatever that thing is that helps you feel back like yourself. Give yourself time to do that, because the rest of it isn't going anywhere.
Well, no, your list will still be there, and it'll probably look worse and longer if you don't do that, because it's just you got to recharge, man.
Trying to slog through and force it, in my experience, both with myself and with others, means you are putting out a less good product, because
nobody.
You are slogging.
Yeah.
You are slogging through,
right?
And ultimately, eventually, that slog will slow down to a stop.
Will catch up with you.
Yeah, the burnout will catch up, and so
100%. It's true. It's true. I mean that. Yeah, and if you don't believe me, it's because you haven't. If you don't believe it, it's because it's never happened to you yet. But it could. So, well, what's coming up in the future? What do you got coming up? Is there anything exciting that's like, ooh, all right?
I mean, there's always exciting things coming up.
What's next?
Let's see here. So right now we provide bookkeeping services. We are expanding that, so there will be more bookkeeping services available, because I now have a couple VAs that know bookkeeping like I do, which is very exciting. One of the other things is we are starting to launch. So in addition to the online business management, the stuff where Alyssa gets to overhaul your systems and processes and things like that, we're starting to do, it's still in that OBM online business management category, but it's kind of a hybrid between that and almost coaching. It's people who is like, I know you've experienced this, where you're just like, I have a lot of ideas and I'm excited about a lot of them, and I have no idea what order to put any of them in.
Right.
Or even, like, I know I need to get from point A to point B, and this entire in-between place is a great big question mark. So more regular kind of OBM talking through stuff to say, like, okay, it sounds at this point you need this. I'm going to refer you to this person. Or, hey, that is a system and a process we can overhaul. Let's put together a budget for that.
Let's dive in. Yeah.
Sometimes it's that gut check of, okay, you may want to do that, but let's put that on the list of things to do. But let's plan on checking in on that in 6 months after you've gotten over this great big hump of stuff that is
you have
fire,
to do.
But it's closer to on fire.
Right.
Then we'll come back and see if that's something you still really want to do, but it's on the list, and I will remind you of that. And if you're still excited about it, great.
Yeah.
So a couple like more robust offerings are kind of what we're doing.
Nice.
As like we just expanded our team. We're probably getting like 1 or 2 more
cool
coming up soon.
Nice.
And that's always fun, because yay, more people, and that means we can help more people, and they get more work, and everybody's happy. Everyone's happy with that.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can speak from experience. Selena's amazing, and so is Alyssa, and so is Natalie, and so is, like, we've worked with all 3 of them, and it's phenomenal. So if you guys, if you are even thinking about it, if what I said earlier in the episode, where I said if you're working in your business more than you're on your business, you need a VA. If that was novel to you, please reach out to Selena, because it's true.
It's even if you're sitting there like, I know I I need help, but I have no idea where to start. And if I'm ready for anyone, I'm always happy to talk and talk through and be like, yeah, you're right. You aren't ready for a virtual assistant yet. Here's what you need to do in order to get ready for one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And then set that reminder again.
Set that reminder. I'm gonna email you in 3 months and see how it's coming along. Now, if you want to ignore that email, you can, but
yeah. Hello. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm not stalking you, but it might feel like it.
But I am gonna look at your social media presence.
Ah, yes. Okay. See that too. Okay. Yeah. Oh man. Awesome. Well, okay. So as you well know, time flies when you're having fun.
Yep.
And we have about 2 minutes left. So if there's anything that you would like to leave the audience with in the next 2 minutes, go.
No pressure. God.
No, none at all. No pressure at all.
One of the things that Alyssa and I said in a team meeting the other night was that we realized sums us up really well is getting stuff done is our love language.
Nice.
We would like to share the love.
I don't think that's one of the 5, but it
is not one of the 5, but acts of service, maybe kind of.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, getting stuff done is our love language. Doubly so for people who are struggling and they're kind of, you can do stuff for yourself. You can open a business, even though that feels like something that isn't possible because you have all this other stuff going on. There are ways around it. And let's talk and figure out the way to make it happen. Because happiness and joy and things that make your soul take flight are what we need more of.
And in case you didn't notice, everybody, she's kind of fun to talk to. And she's not the high pressure salesperson either. So it's not like you're not going to get on the call and like feel like you've just been dragged behind a truck, for 3 miles, it's pretty chill. So that's part of the reason we love them. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah,
you try not to make life harder than it needs to be,
right? Yeah, it's tough enough. We don't need to add to it. No, thank you. Well, man, hey, Selena, thank you for taking the time out of your your schedule, because you're busy too. I know. So I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this and for being so real and getting the word out, man. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk to you afterwards, but I'm going to, yeah.
But to everybody else,
don't go too far. But for everybody else, say bye-bye. All right.
Okay,
thank you,
bye-bye.
Selena. Appreciate it. All right. Oh, I'm going to take that off the screen too, by the way. There we go. All right, everybody. Seriously, she's awesome. They're awesome. You should check it out. And join us for the next show. By the way, for all of you that are watching, thank you. And if this is your first time ever seeing this show, thank you. I appreciate you being here. And if you've been watching for a long, long time and you've been with us from the beginning, thank you. If this is your new favorite episode, share it. Do all the things, like, follow, subscribe, share, all the things. Get the word out so that we can share these incredible stories with more people. Thank you for helping us grow over this last year and a half that we've been on the air. It's been amazing, and we have so much fun here, and we owe it to you, the viewers, and we're so appreciative. Thank you. And so join us for our next show on Tuesday, November 19th. Man, Thanksgiving's coming quick. Tuesday, November 19th for our next amazing show. And until then, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.